I spent my 30s in a relationship with a man that I was very much in love with and expected to marry and have a kid with. And when I was 38, he left me for a 20-year-old's. And it was so funny because at the time, I was amazingly optimistic. I really believed that, I was going to go out. I got a new job. I somehow managed to turn my life around after all of that.
The question is, how did I get through my divorce after 20 years and then jump into the dating scene, and how did I handle it? Not well at all. As most of you know, I was in a 20-year marriage. It was an arranged marriage. We didn't kiss till we got engaged. We didn't have sex until our wedding night.
After I first got divorced, I decided that I was going to go on Bumble. There's all these hot guys and everybody's talking to me and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And they asked me,
yes, all these guys are talking to you, but it's not because they want to build a relationship with you. It's probably because they want to sleep with you. Those guys are probably desperate and they will say anything to get you where they want you. Let's discover how this story ends. Subscribe.
I am having like all the feels right now. I mean, my birthday's in about a week, so I've got all of that coming up, and reading through these comments is really intense, and I can relate to them so much. This is my story right here. I spent my 30s in a relationship with a man that I was very much in love with and expected to marry and have a kid with. And when I was 38, he left me for a 20-year-old's. And it was so funny because at the time, I was amazingly optimistic. I really believed that, I was going to go out. I got a new job. I somehow managed to turn my life around after all of that. And I was absolutely convinced that my horrific experience in romantic relationships was like statistically likely to take a turn for the better. And that I was going to meet someone and I was going to be able to have a baby right under the wire. But that did not happen, not even by a long shot. And in fact, the experiences that I had with dating were just as bad, and in one case, worse. To the point where I have now opted out of dating altogether because I don't feel that it is good for my mental health.
This woman's voice changed so much. You can tell she's feeling broken from what she's been through. And one thing she did not mention is, why did the husband leave her for a younger woman? Did she drive him out the house? What exactly made him leave? These are the key points she's leaving out. Because no one is just gonna get up and leave knowing that he's married to someone. What exactly did you do, lady?
And I'm going to be 47 in about a week, and I think, getting close to the end of the perimenopause phase, and there's a lot of intense emotions that I feel about this. In some ways, I'm okay with it. I have taken care of children my whole life, and there's a part of me that's like, great, now it's my turn. But there's another part of me that is immensely sad. I even knew what I was going to name my child. Like, I've thought about her for decades. And it really pains me to know that I will never know her. But I think the hardest part of this is that it comes with so much fucking shame. Not because of us. Like, we don't do this to ourselves. It is all from out there. Our society is so judgmental of women who didn't get married and don't have kids. And I hear it on a daily basis every single time I get on social media. I hear it from my own nieces who ask me sometimes, I don't understand why you're a woman if you didn't have children. They're 7 and 9. Where did they learn that kind of... The shame is everywhere. And I wish I could say it gets easier, but it does not. But I will say that I am getting better at taking care of myself and protecting my journey and loving it and learning to accept it. Ultimately, it is nobody's business. And what's truly shameful is that it's so socially acceptable to shame people who are already grieving and in pain. So do everything you can to tell the shame to F off.
This woman is no longer on dating apps because she's mentally frustrated, and men are not looking her way like they used to in her prime. She's about to reach the age of 47 and going to celebrate her birthday alone. No kids, no husband. That honestly sounds scary. She honestly had to accept it. It has become part of her reality.
The question is, how did I get through my divorce after 20 years and then jump into the dating scene, and how did I handle it? Not well. Not well at all. As most of you know, I was in a 20-year marriage. It was an arranged marriage. We didn't kiss till we got engaged. We didn't have sex until our wedding night. And then I was with him for 20 years. So when we got divorced, I wanted to taste the rainbow. I was a thirsty bitch. First mistake I made was trusting men right off the bat and not having them earn my trust. I kept attracting men that just wanted to use me. And I couldn't figure out why. I think the reason is because I was using them too. I was using them for validation. For someone to make me feel sexy and alive. But then I wanted them to make me feel seen and accepted and loved.
Instead of trying to work on her marriage to make it work, she was so eager to go out there going crazy with so many men. This woman honestly sounds confused already. This is why I say women don't know what they want. They don't even know what they want. She was with those men because they made her feel a certain way temporarily. And then she wanted those men to fill her up with love. Yep. Pretty confusing to me.
And more than just a sexual being. And that was my problem, my friend, is I was relying on these men to make me feel seen, alive, heard, valued, loved, when I had to do it for myself, which is so freaking hard. I had to become detached from what anyone else thought about me and attach back to myself and love myself and respect myself, reparent myself, and have self-compassion and have some self-respect. If you don't fill your own cup with some delicious, healthy water, you become desperate for somebody else to fill your cup, even if it's piss. I drank a lot of piss because I wasn't willing or understood how to go to the well and fetch that water myself. So here's my advice on dating. When I was first pregnant and I had to go to Babies R Us and pick out bottles for my registry, the selection was huge and I was overwhelmed and I did not do, I just was so overwhelmed. But after my first and second child, when I would go there, I knew exactly what I wanted. It was easy. It was not overwhelming. Boom, done. When you decide to not waver on your non-negotiables, and which is different from your preferences, dating's easy. It's yes or it's no. It doesn't have to be hard, my friend.
For anybody out there, you should not be relying on other people to make you feel alive, valued, and loved. That's all up to you. But in this woman's case, she was being controlled by her emotions. She wasn't in the right state of mind. She just threw herself out there and thought it was gonna be all good. She needed more time, but she was trying to rush the process. Her poor tiny heart was still wounded.
Welcome to the series, Things I Did When I First Got Divorced That Are Dumb as Shit. This is embarrassing. After I first got divorced, I decided that I was going to go on Bumble. There's all these hot guys and everybody's talking to me and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And they asked me to send them photos and I'm like, oh, I feel like so sexy right now. I'm going to like show them my body. I probably have an entire like Playboy photo library, just like wandering off into the oblivion of like sexy pictures I sent to total strangers that I never even met. I can never become a politician because for all I know, some random catfish has some picture with a nibble in it. And if you're one of them, can you please delete that?
Is she so blind that she can't see what those guys wanted from her? And why would you just hop on Bumble after you just got divorced? This just makes me think. Did this woman actually want to be married? Did she really want to build a family? Anyways, if you are going through something, give yourself enough time to come back to your senses. Subscribe.